Yo, what's good? What's good? I'm back. Triple P Paul Pickett Podcast, episode 34. We got game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. Bucks don't win, man. It ain't look good. They're over. It's done. So Bucks gotta win tonight. They gotta win next game too. Yeah. Not looking good. Hit that click now, subscribe button before we get started into this. Um, Team USA got beat by Nigeria. I know a couple people made some excuses that Team Nigeria has played together for a while, and that Team USA only played together for 4 days. All I know is 4 NBA role players beat 4 NBA stars. So 4 NBA stars got beat by, 5 NBA stars got beat by 5 NBA role players. Nigeria has some NBA players on there, but they're all role players. So 5 role players basically beat 5 superstar starters. There's no team with Kevin Durant on it should be losing to a team that is 5 role players. I don't care how long they've been playing together, man. Like, stop it, man, with these excuses. It's just what's happening is the rest of the world is catching up with the U.S. on basketball. I mean, you got Jokic, MVP, Giannis, MVP before that. You had 2 international players have held the last 3 MVPs. You got Luka Doncic doing what he's doing, Joel Embiid. Even though Ben Simmons is having some issues, he's from Australia. Jamal Murray's from Canada. Even Wiggins is from Canada. There's a lot of international players. The Bogdanovich, Bobans. There's so many Bogdanovich. The one for the Hawks. You got Gallinari. You got a lot of good international players in the league nowadays, man. And the last 2 MVPs been held down by international players, Giannis and Joker. And next year, who's to say that Luka doesn't? If Luka gets it next year, that'd be 4 straight MVPs held down by international players. I don't know that we've seen that. I can't even remember the last time I've seen an international player get an MVP, except maybe like Akeem Olajuwon. Akeem Olajuwon is the only international player like that I've seen get an MVP. I can't think of none that's, and he went to college in the University of Houston, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. But he's from Africa, and I can't think of no other international player except Akeem the Dream Olajuwon that got an MVP. And he might have got back-to-back MVPs with the back-to-back championship years. I know he at least got one, And since that, I'm guessing Giannis was the first since Akeem. And they're from Greece, but his family is originally from Africa. And now the Joker, he's from like Lithuania or something like that, or Slovenia, or Serbia, or something like that. One of those countries. He got it. Luka could have it next year. Yeah, so international guys are starting to catch up with the U.S., especially when the last 2 MVPs were international. And then if, matter of fact, if Embiid gets it next year, that's another international player getting it. If Embiid can pull off an MVP. So, yeah. Jamal Murray gets one. That'd be a Canadian player getting one, So, yeah. We should, but we still should be losing to Nigeria, man. There's no way that 5 superstar players should be losing to 5 role players. I don't care who it is. And yeah, so I ain't much to really talk about game 3 tonight. Bucks don't win, it's over. Devin Booker right now is leading for the finals MVP race. He keeps balling out like he is. He'll get finals MVP. And Chris Paul don't really care about that. He wants the trophy. He wants the actual chip, the championship. So yeah, I'm gonna get into this topic. I was not gonna get into this topic, but I got into the Rachel Nichols and the Maria Taylor. And to me, they're both none of them are innocent in that. But I'm gonna get into this. I think her name's Gwen Berry. She turned her back on the flag. Anybody that knows me, I don't really hate nobody except my uncle, because he's a pretty hateful person. I don't hate anybody that I don't really know, like I've never hung out with and don't really know as a person. I don't really hate them. I might dislike them, but anybody that knows me, that I dislike hypocrites more than anything in this world. I'm going to repeat that. I dislike hypocrites more than anything in this world. That's my least likable kind of people in this world is hypocrites. Everybody else is, ain't as bad as hypocrites to me. I think just hypocrites are the worst. And that's what I see right now with this Gwen Berry thing. Like, it's one thing for Colin Kaepernick to kneel for the flag because he's only first of all, he really only plays for one fan base, for one city and one team. That's really who he's playing for and representing. Even though he is an NFL player, he doesn't play for the whole NFL fan base. There's no professional athlete is playing for all the fans in their sport, because typically only the fans that from their city are the ones that are super diehard fanatic, and then they'll have fans outside of the city. But typically, most people outside of your city's fan base, you'll have more hate in a lot more cities. And the idea that fans, if they actually sitting there hating an athlete for making a decision or for playing for another team, I mean, I would never hate nobody for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's a false narrative that all the fans just truly hate somebody that plays for another team. I don't think they truly hate them. It's part of the persona of being a fan. You just act like you hate them. Yes, there's some fans that probably do they're harboring hate for no reason because they don't even know the person. And it's like, if you hate somebody you don't even really physically know, you never really met, hang out with, you're harboring hate for no reason. So I don't hate hypocrites. I just dislike them more than any kind of people in this world. To me, that's what Gwen Berry is. It's like, America's not all peaches and cream. But if you hate it, it ain't even just America. I'm pretty sure if you can't do this in no other country, you can't be an Olympic athlete in some other country and get up and turn your back on the flag and think that country isn't going to go in on you. Every country in the world is going to go in on their Olympic athlete for turning their back on their flag. So stop it with this. This is a racist thing. First of all, ain't no white chicks racing in the 100-meter relay of the 100-meter relay team. Stop it. That ain't happened for a long time, man. Ain't no white chicks racing in the 100 meters or the 4x100 meters. So the idea that you bringing racism into this when ain't no white chick even competes on that is bogus. And you know what? I'm talking about the wrong sport too. I'm talking about old girls. So my bad. I'm all wrong. Gwen Berry does have white people, but like that don't even really actually. I'm all wrong because they didn't even really say it was racist. But like, so let me recant that. Let's go back. Gwen Berry turned her back on the flag. I got it mixed up with the chick that got the weed, where they try to say that was racist. But and that wasn't racist either because no white chicks doesn't even compete with that. And I don't think I threw that point out when I was talking about it. No white chicks even compete for that. You know what I'm saying? So there's no racism in that whatsoever. It's all black chicks. You know what I'm saying? She's being replaced by other black chicks. But Gwen Berry turns her back on the flag. All right. Now, if you hate America that bad, it's kind of hypocritical that you want to reap all the benefits of competing for America, winning the gold for America, but you hate it so bad. You don't like. You want to turn your back on it. You want to throw your middle finger up, whatever it may be. It's like it's kind of hypocritical to me because you could do it in no other country. There's no other country like Russia's not going to let you go up there compete in Olympics and turn your back on their flag. No other country is going to do that. China's not going to let you. China's going to go in on you if you do that. North Korea, a lot of this idea that any country in the Olympics is going to let their Olympic athlete turn their back on their flag and they're just going to be cool with it. Stop it. Stop it. Everybody's going to be upset about that. Everybody's going to be upset about that. It's just kind of hypocritical. I mean, if you hate America that bad, then don't compete for America. I'm not saying you got to go to another country to compete, but if you hate it that bad, then don't compete. You know, it's just really hypocritical. You want to reap all the benefits of getting famous as an Olympic athlete, the sponsorships as an Olympic athlete, the endorsements, possibly winning a gold medal. And I forgot what she does. I want to say she does like shot put or something like that. Because I had her mixed up with thinking she was a runner. But she's not a runner. She's just like a shot putter or something like that. And if I'm not mistaken, she didn't even win the gold in the U.S. trials and whatnot. So, yeah, it's just like, it's kind of critical to me, man. Like, it's one thing for an athlete to kneel or turn their back on the flag because they're really only playing for one specific fan base. And even though they're alienating half of the fan base in the NFL when they do it, they're still not playing for half the. I mean, you know, let the NFL worry. That's the NFL's problem. You know, it's like if I go play for a team, I'm not playing for. You know, if I play for San Francisco, I'm not playing for Oakland's fans. You know, I'm not playing for Los Angeles fans. And if I do got fans outside of, you know, within those cities, hey, that's cool. But, you know, you're competing for your fan base that likes that team or that's from that city. But when you're competing in the Olympics, you're competing for a country. You're representing a country. And the idea that any country would be cool with an Olympic athlete turning their back on their flag. No, man. Like that's not just an American thing. No country would be cool with that. And anybody that thinks countries outside of America, that 100% of them wouldn't, you know, like that any one country outside of America would be cool with that somebody competing for their country and turning their back on the flag at the Olympics. That's false. That's fairy tale. That's make believe. That's no more real than the Easter Bunny. That's just some made up, imaginary, bogus view and opinion. No, every country on the planet would be upset at that situation. So it's definitely not racism. So that too, let me put that in a. It ain't nobody like the fact that people matter. It has nothing to do with racism, because every single country will be mad at you turning their back on the flag if you're competing for them. And if you're gonna sit there and tell me that they wouldn't, that's a bold-faced lie. That's false. They would be mad. They would be upset. You know, and it's hypocritical for you to want to reap all the benefits, but you hate the country so bad. So don't compete for the country. Or, you know, this is my take. If you hate them so bad, you go to another country and compete against America. That would be the really, like, the sensible thing to do. The less hypocritical thing to do would be to go to another country and compete against America to try to beat America. But this idea that you hate America, you want to turn your back on the flag and the national anthem and everything because you hate America so bad, but you sure want to reap the benefits of competing in the Olympics for America, the endorsements, the money, the sponsorships, the social media followers you might get out of it. You want to reap all the benefits. It's all cool as long as you're reaping the benefits. But as soon as somebody plays the national anthem, it's two middle fingers, screw America. Like, that's so hypocritical. Then just don't compete for America. If it's that terrible. And if you hate it that much and it's terrible, I ain't saying just go some other country. I'm saying this more smart and sensible thing and less hypocritical thing to do is go to another country and compete against America. Not just for the sake to go to another country. Because to be honest with you, I've already figured out, I told my mom this today, if I ever had to leave America, if I ever decide I want to leave America, if I had to leave America, decide I want to leave America, I would move back to Panama. I lived in Panama for like a few years, but I would move to Panama City, Panama. That's where I would move if I wanted to move to another country. You know what I'm saying? And that would be about it. I ain't moving to no Russia, no China, no North Korea. Australia might be cool because of the animals and stuff. Maybe some places in Africa, you know what I'm saying? But Panama will be number one on my list. Panama will be number one on my list. I've lived in Panama before as a kid. Some of my most interesting experiences were in Panama as a kid. And Panama just seems like, I've never known Panama to be like a big warring spot. Seems like a peaceful spot to go. Even though they got a lot of narco money going through Panama, it doesn't seem like it's a narco state. Not like Mexico is a narco state or a narco country. And don't get me wrong, I can't knock. I'm not totally narking. I'm knocking the government, not the narcos, because the narcos support more Mexicans than the government does. They put more money in the pockets of Mexicans than the government do. And Mexicans are hardworking people that come from very poor situations in society, man. I mean, the government don't do shit for nobody in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. There's plenty of countries where the government doesn't do nothing for people. Like, South America in general doesn't really do much for people in South America. The government in South America, they get rich while the poor stays poor. I mean, America does a lot more. Like, they're not giving out all these welfare programs all through South America and stuff like that. You know, they're not like the slums are the slums in South America. They're not governmental housing. They're the slums. You know, it's like this idea, like, it's like I saw the video the other day where you got all these girls from this college saying they're embarrassed to be Americans. But when you ask them to name a country that they think is better than America, they can't name one. You know what that is? Hypocritical. That's kind of hypocritical. So all you're saying is every country on the planet is embarrassing. But what country is least embarrassing? Because I could tell you right now, you can't leave America with nothing, and go to any other country and make something of yourself. It doesn't happen that way in no other country. You can't leave America with nothing and go to Russia, go to China, go to North Korea, go to any freaking country over there on that side of the map and make something of yourself. No. America's the only country that you could make something out of nothing. Every other country, you're only making something out of something. Now, if you call being a narco, making something out of nothing, no, because if you haven't done it the legal route, then that doesn't work. We're talking about legally making something out of nothing. Just go there with nothing and think you're going to work a job in Russia and move up to the top of the food chain. No, America's the only place that you could do that. Unless we're talking about the internet here, we're not talking. No, and the internet is worldwide. You could be anywhere and make money on the internet. I could be in the middle of the ocean. In the middle of the ocean, As long as I got food, water, and the internet, I will make money every single day of my life. You could put me in the middle of a desert. As long as I got food, water, and the internet, and a camel to get me to where I need to go, I'm telling you, man, I will make money every single day. You can't go to no other country and make something out of nothing. And if you go to those countries, you're going to have to do it illegally. You're going to have to sell drugs, traffic humans, all the scumbag criminal stuff that, any decent human being doesn't do. So, yeah, man, like, I'm not saying if you hate America, just leave it. But I'm just saying if you hate America so much, why are you competing for America then? You look like the hypocrite. You hate it that much, but you sure want to compete for all because you want to reap all the benefits. So America only suits you as long as you're reaping the benefits. It doesn't suit you when you gotta see a flag or you gotta hit a national anthem. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what she was expecting. Every single country on the planet would be upset at what she did, turning the back on their flag when you're competing for their country. No matter what you said the reason was. Trust me, Russia oppresses people. China oppresses people. North Korea oppresses people. And if one of their athletes got up there and turned their back on the flag, guess what? He ain't competing for that country ever again. He or she will not be competing for that country ever again. Some of those countries might chop your hand off for doing some stuff like that. They might chop off your hand for turning your back on the flag in front of everybody. Some countries will chop your hand off for stealing. What you think they're gonna do when you turn your back on the flag? There's some countries you can't even choose who you marry still. Plenty of countries you can't still choose who you marry. Several countries you can't choose who you marry. There's several countries you can't choose your religion, your occupation. Guess what? You can damn near choose all them things in America. You could pretty much choose who you marry, what fairy tale god you want to believe in. You could choose. Like, America's the only place where you could have this many religions. Some countries you can't have no other religion. And if you do, you better be hiding it. Or not, you get punished. So America has the most freedoms on the planet. Canada, right above us, doesn't even have freedom of speech. You don't even got freedom of speech in Canada. You can't say what you want whenever you want in Canada. But here, you can get on social media and cuss out the president all day long. No matter who it is, Trump or Biden. You can get on there and cuss them out all day long. You go to China and North Korea and try to cuss out their dictators on social media. And talk junk to their soul and people threaten the presidents on social media, cuss them out, call them all types of names. You try to do that in China and North Korea, probably in Russia, and see how far that gets you. That probably gets you locked up. That probably gets you in prison. In those countries, So stop it with this. Every single country would not be cool with you turning the back on a flag when you competing for the Olympics. And some of those countries ain't going to be cool with you doing it as a professional athlete. America's the only country on the planet probably going to let you turn your back on the flag as a professional athlete. The only country going to let you get away with that. Because every other country you do that, you ain't never competing in that country again. I guarantee it. So stop it if anybody's saying it. It's racism. Stop it if anybody's saying they're trying to single her out. She singled herself out. She singled herself out. Stop it. She singled her. This is the problem with society. This is the problem, the main problem with society. I personally don't agree with the laws of man. Do I think some of them are right? Yeah, they in line with how decent human beings should act. You shouldn't it's one thing for you to steal from a grocery store, steal from a store, or just steal something and put it in your pocket. It's another thing when you're talking about strong arm robbery, putting a gun to somebody, because that has rules to it. Pulling a gun has rules to it. First rule of the gun is you pull the trigger. It's one thing when you start doing violent things, to people. You start kidnapping, trafficking people. You start beating people. You shoot at people, kill people. Those things those things. I mean, the laws of nature only says that those things are killing somebody is only acceptable to eat, or if they've threatened you. If they threatened you, your territory, it's like, so if they haven't, like, if somebody breaks in my house, the laws of nature say that, yeah, I could kill them because they're threatening my territory, they're threatening my area, and they're threatening my life, just by even just breaking into my territory while I'm there. I feel threatened. So yeah, the laws of nature say I could kill them, but to just, like, if you go up and just rob somebody and you kill them during a robbery, no, man, that goes against the laws of nature. Laws of nature, you can only kill somebody when your life is in jeopardy. They're like threatening you in your territory, or you have to eat. There was a time when I'm pretty sure that people were super starving. They had to eat other people. They had to be cannibals. And the laws of nature says that's okay for people to eat other people as long as you're doing it for the purpose of eating. You need, like, survival. You have to need this to survive to eat. But, if you're not, like, in America, like, there's a lot of free food be given out. So, even homeless people get food stamps. So this idea that anybody in America is usually starving to the point that you got to kill somebody is really bogus. Because, I mean, and the people that get food stamps and sell them, and when they don't got enough food stamps left, I mean, no, that goes against the laws of nature too. You sold them. You're trying to make money off them because you had plenty. You got plenty off of what you got. So laws of nature says you can only kill people off of 3 reasons. They threaten you in your territory. They threaten your life, which is the same thing. Threatening you in your territory is threatening your life. But they can threaten your life outside of your territory, and laws of nature say you can kill them. And then if you just starving and you got to eat. But past that, come on, man. Everything is just you being violent to be violent. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is with society is, even though I don't agree with all the laws of man, it doesn't mean that I don't follow them. People that want to disagree with the laws of man, that's fine. And you don't want to follow them, hey, that's fine too. The only problem comes in is when you just want to ignore the consequences and act like they shouldn't apply to you, because that's not how the laws of nature work. It's like every action can have a reaction. If you go rob somebody at gunpoint, and say you don't rob the average person, you go rob a drug dealer at gunpoint, and you don't shoot that drug dealer, because the first rule of pulling a gun is pulling the trigger, which has different laws. It's a whole different law in itself. The laws of nature catch up with you, because you don't pull the trigger, that person can catch you slipping someday. They could be a person that will pull the gun and will pull the trigger. It's like, oh, I seen this person, they robbed me. They can catch you slipping. You don't see them, and they just come up behind you and blow. Like Just because you don't like the laws of man or you don't like rules doesn't mean they have consequences. Anybody who owns a house has rules in a house. Anybody who rents a apartment or rents a house or a trailer, they have rules in a house. If you break the rules, it can have consequences. If you come up at my house and you break, I ask you nicely not to do something and you just blatantly still do it, then I'm going to tell you not so nicely to get the hell out. And then if you don't get the hell out, well, then I'm going to go get something from the closet that's going to make sure you get out. And then if you want to press the issue in it there, well, then I'm going to have to raise it up a level and probably blow your kneecap off, Because my apartment has rules, and if you don't want to follow them, and then you try to act like you're big and bad above the rules and you don't have to leave my apartment, well, then you're going to realize that I'm the only lion in my apartment. I'm the king of my jungle. And if you don't want to leave my jungle willingly, well, then I'll blow off a kneecap and drag you out forcefully. Because I'm 5'4", I'm a little guy. Everybody's bigger than me. Any lion that comes in my jungle is possibly bigger than me. So I'm gonna let the lion know that this is my jungle. Anyway, I gotta let him know that it's my jungle, and I ain't playing. I'm serious. If I have to defend my jungle with blowing off a kneecap because you didn't want to leave, because it's not like I can physically drag everybody out by their hair, Normally people my size that I work with, but somebody 6'6", I ain't gonna be able to drag him out by his hair. So I'm gonna have to go and take off a kneecap, possibly. So all I'm saying is, man, everywhere you go, there's rules, and rules change. You go into somebody's house, they got rules. You go into somebody's business, they have rules. And this idea that you're above the rules, well, that only works in the stuff that you own. That only works in your own spot. And if you ain't got your own spot, then guess what? You ain't dictate no rules nowhere. You ain't renting your own spot. You don't own your own spot. You don't got your own business. And maybe you got a car that's yours. You can dictate the rules of inside your car. But outside of it, no. And, rules are dictated outside of our domains by the government. And then you don't follow the government's rules, well, their punishments are more severe than if you come over to my house and you don't follow the rules. And actually, I could be wrong, because if I gotta force you to leave, then we're gonna have a serious problem on the hand. But we gotta stop thinking we're above the rules, because you're not above the consequences. That's the thing. You gotta stop thinking we're above the rules, because you're not above the consequences. Because the consequences are coming regardless. Like I said, you could rob somebody at gunpoint, not shoot them. They could come back and catch you slipping later and shoot you. I've seen it happen before. A guy robs a guy. He goes to a club. A guy catches him slipping, and the guy in the club shanks him, stabs him in the club. Why? Because the first rule of the gun is you pull the trigger. You don't pull guns on people. You don't pull the triggers. That could come back to haunt you. Especially if you're doing it, if you're pulling guns on people who are actually in the game. You're robbing a drug dealer, you robbing somebody in the streets, that actually might come back and do some street stuff, and you didn't pull the trigger, consequences, man. You break in a house, you get caught, you go to jail. You rob somebody at gunpoint, you get caught, you go to jail. You kill somebody, some places will kill you. You'll get the death penalty. That's the consequences. A person going to prison when they killed somebody, they've got off every time. Anytime somebody goes to prison after they killed somebody, and I mean cold-blooded killing, not like self-defense, not where the laws of nature come in, where you had to self-defense kill somebody, If it's self-defense, that's one thing. But you cold-blooded killers, people that just kill people, like you kill them over a girl or over money, people like that. Those people get off every single time. That's never justice. It's only justice unless they get killed too. Yes, eye for an eye is justice. This idea that you just supposed somebody takes out an eye and you're supposed to turn the other cheek, that's the biggest, dumbest idiot in the planet whoever came up with that. Turn your other cheek. You know what that's about? Control. That's about control. That's about control. But yeah, man, we gotta stop thinking we above the rules because you're not above the consequences. Yes, there's plenty laws of man that are stupid. Like, yes, Sha'Carri Richardson. Yes, it's stupid that Olympic athletes are even tested for weed or that weed's even an issue, because yes, it doesn't enhance your performance. It can calm your nerves. That's about it. It doesn't enhance your performance. But the fact is, okay, first of all, it's not legally everywhere in the United States. And I live in a state that's going to be one of the last states to legalize it. Second of all, the Olympics isn't it's not an American thing. It's not American rules. It's not dictated by one country. Doesn't dictate the rules of all the Olympics, you know. And it doesn't. How fair does it look for the other Olympics countries when ain't none of their athletes are using weed? And somebody made a great point too. And the Jamaican sprinters ain't smoking. I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to hear no excuse. The Jamaican sprinters ain't smoking. You knew the risks. You knew the risks. So yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson, Gwen Berry, even like Gwen Berry, it's like you turn your back on the flag of the country you're representing and you expected zero backlash. You knew the risks. You know you could lose endorsements over this. You knew there's businesses and sponsors that might be offended. Because you didn't, it's one thing to kneel, but you turned your back on the flag. Any country you did that, man, that would not fly. And anybody thinks that that's racist, that people in America's going in on her, that, it's injustice, it's oppression. Every country on the planet would be upset about one. Trust me. Because now you're making, now the whole country look bad. The whole country look bad. You embarrassed all of us. Because the other countries ain't doing that. Look, American Olympic athletes. Come on, man. Like, potheads and people that hate the country. That's our legacy. Potheads and people that hate the country. Because that ain't gonna that. I'm pretty sure every other country doesn't want no. That's the thing. And this idea that this is the only time she's ever smoked. You know what? I hate to say, I knew she smoked weed before this happened. I knew she smoked weed before this happened. I knew. I could tell. You know why? Because I smoke. I know weed smoker when I see one. And so do most people. That's why people all the time, when I'm walking somewhere in public, somewhere, just some random person out the blue, asking me, do I want a cop or do I know where to get it? They could tell. They know. And I could tell. I know chronic smoker when I see one. And it didn't take a rocket scientist to tell. So this idea that she only smoked it because her mom's passed, I don't believe that one bit. She smokes weed. She smokes. She smokes on the regular. You could tell. She smokes on the regular. She smokes on the regular. And like I'm saying, like it's a dumb rule, but until it's legal everywhere, it's still a rule. And we can't have an Olympic athlete smoking weed competing when it's still illegal in a lot of countries. I mean, a lot of states. There's a lot of states that still, a lot of states, man, that ain't with this shit. I'll tell you, man. I'm in North Carolina, man. Bible Belt. North Carolina, Bible. Any state on the Bible Belt is going to be the last to legalize this. They're going to be last. And trust me, it should have been legalized. Should have been legalized, but that's not the point. It's not. Not everywhere. It's not even worldwide legalized. It's not universally legalized. That's another thing. If it's not legalized in every country either, we got to understand and respect the fact that there's a lot of countries competing in this. And just because we might be on the forefront of legalizing it everywhere, but look how even since we started getting states to legalize it, we still got states that are pushing back heavy, man. I'm telling you, we could go another 20 years and North Carolina still might not legalize it. And so I don't want to hear nothing about the rules until it does. You know, it's not legal everywhere in the United States. So therefore, you can't have an Olympic runner or anybody for the United States smoking chronic publicly. We can't have that, man. It's not legal. So now that means we have Olympic athletes that are criminals representing us. Because just because it's legal in your state doesn't mean it's legal in another state. And guess what? I know for a fact that people who are legal states, when they go to illegal states, they still smoke illegally. So don't act like just because it's legal in Oregon and you come to North Carolina that you still following the rules because it's legal in your state. No. Now you're a criminal like the rest of us. You're breaking the rules like the rest of us. Because if you commit a crime, guess what? As long as it's a crime, you're a criminal. I don't care what crime it is. If you commit that crime over and over and over again, you're a criminal. I'm saying it. I'm a criminal. Now, should I be classified as a criminal? Hell no. Because, yes, it should be legalized everywhere. But guess what? It's not. Not in my state. You know? But I'm not so blatant why I'm going to get in front of the podcast and just smoke and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still grown, adult, you know. I'm still going to be sensible about things. You know? Like, you can't lock me up for saying I smoke weed. But, you know, like, you can lock me up if you catch me. And I only smoke in the comfort of my own home. I don't smoke nowhere else. I don't smoke, riding with people in the car. I don't do that. You know. So I don't really, even though it is a crime, I'm classified as a criminal. And I really shouldn't be because I haven't done nothing violent to nobody. I'm not robbing nobody, stealing from nobody. But it's the rules, man. It's the laws, man. And until it's legal, I'm still doing something illegal. You know? And it doesn't mean that, everybody should open the floodgates up and support me. It doesn't mean I should be glorified for illegally smoking weed in my house every single day. But do I think I'm above the rules? No. Because I know I'm not above the consequences. That's why I don't just do things. I do my thing in a sensible manner. I stick to myself. I'm not, promoting. I just told everybody, but I promote hip hop for a living. I'm a rapper. It doesn't take a rocket scientist if you go listen to my music that I smoke weed. If you just put that together, Paul Masson and Paul Pickett are the same people. Yeah, but it doesn't stop me from doing my job. Maybe this morning it did. It might have got me. I might have got a little bit confused between Shakira. And I don't even know if I could blame it on that. I think I just started going in and almost forgot that one. I forgot one was a runner and the other was a like a shot putter. That's what I really forgot. I forgot one was a shot putter, not a runner. So I didn't really forget the names. You know, I mean, I run a business every single day, no problem. You know, but yeah, I don't think I'm above the rules because I don't think I'm above the consequences. If I do anything more severe, whatever happens to me, I deserve it. I've earned it because consequences are consequences. You know, like I don't believe in karma, but if people believe in karma, then why would you not believe in consequences? And if you believe in karma, why would you think you're above rules? Because that's part of karma. Is you breaking the rules or violating the rules or doing bad things to people, which go against the rules. And like I said, I agree with the laws of nature over the laws of man, but we don't live in a world where society is dictated by the laws of nature. We live in a world where society is dictated by the laws of man. And if I don't follow those rules, then I could pay the piper. I could pay the consequences and reap the bad benefits of not following the rules. So yeah, man. And I know some people be like, they hate when like people say the rules are the rules. But guess what? Until you can dictate the rules, what are we talking about here? Unless you're in a place where you dictate the rules, or unless you could dictate the rules of the whole U.S. government or the whole Olympics, what are we talking about here? If you're not in a place where you can't dictate rules, then you have to follow them. If or not, pay the consequences. It's that simple, man. People try to make this so hard and so complex in life. Are we going that backwards in life? I mean, if you really want to this is the thing. If you really want to get rid of rules and laws and defund the police, then I don't want to hear nothing about consequences then, because the consequences are going to be far worse. Far worse with no rules, no laws, and no police in place. There won't be no consequences. It'll be dog eat dog, kill or be killed, survival of the fittest. I have to walk to the store with my shotgun. Or if not, somebody's going to test me. And if you don't go to the store with something, you're going to get tested too. Just because. If there's no rules and no laws and people could just, there's no consequences, it'll be a free-for-all. And if you think, you won't even be able to walk out your house. You won't be able to walk out your house. And y'all can take all the laws and rules and cops away. That's not going to permit me from walking out of my house. Like I said, I'm just going to be walking with my 12 gauge. Just don't be saying that when I walk in the grocery store with my 12 gauge, because that's what I'm going to have to do, because y'all want to take away rules and laws. And we got to have some kind of order. There's two. I hate to get into it, but the New World Order is right. We too overpopulated. This idea that you have thousands of people and they all just gonna love each other and like each other is bogus. It's bogus. It is so bogus. This utopia where everybody loves everybody is make believe, fairy tale, imaginary, bogus. I will never love my uncle. Never. I will always hate him. Because he's done nothing but hateful things his whole life. This idea that you're supposed to love hateful people, evil people, cruel people, heartless people. Because I'm not heartless. I cry over movies. I'm an asshole because I own a business and I'm self-employed. And in the business world, the nice guy finishes last. That's a fact. That is fact in the business world. Nice guy finishes last. So I'm an asshole. But I have a heart. I cry over movies. I cry over glory. First movie where the heroes died in. I cry over glory. I've cried over another Denzel Washington movie. The one with his son needed a heart transplant. I cried over that movie. I cried over Denzel Washington movies. You know, maybe more than two, be honest with you. I cried over 7 pounds Will Smith when he kills himself at the end and he donates his heart. You know, like, I cry over movies, so I care. I care about things. I care about family. I care about people who care about me. But this idea we supposed to care about people that don't care about us? Stop it! Stop it! Why would you care about anybody that doesn't care about you? Why? You wasting your breath. It's a waste of time. It's hopeless. There's no solution there. Caring about somebody who never care about you. That's a lost cause. There's no solutions there. And in the real world, you don't accept excuses, you accept solutions. And the solution of a person who will never care about you is you don't care about them back. You don't even care. You move on with life and you only care about the people that care about you. This idea we all supposed to love one another and care about people who don't even care about us would never even care about us. I got hit by a car. Went to the hospital, broke my foot, my leg, and my shoulder. It truly showed me who cared about me. It truly showed me who cared about me. And asked me how many of my white friends came to see me at the hospital. Zero, nada, zilch. Zero, nada, zilch. Ask me how many white friends I got today. Zero, nada, zilch. Ain't no white friends in my life. Because ain't none of them care about me. I mean, they showed it. Even my cousin, he showed it. You didn't care about me. You care about your girlfriend you just met more than your cousin you looked up to that taught you a lot in life, that taught you how to be self-employed business owner, you know. Yeah, you cared more about a person you only know 365 days than a person that's cared about you your whole life. Well, guess what? I don't care about you. That's how it works. You know, I don't care about people who don't care about me. And this idea that we should care about people that would never care about us, no. Hey, my neighbor, she cares about me. She brings me over chicken and noodle soup all the time. She brings me over donuts all the time. And guess what? I return her favor. Brought over spaghetti and garlic bread. And she was so happy that I cared about returning the favor and bringing her something over, you know, because I also cared about not spoiling my food. And I cared that my neighbor is nice and she's done things for me. So I cared about returning the favor. And she actually was like, oh, man, she didn't even have no time to cook for the whole day. And she was so ecstatic and so happy about it. Because that's how people who care about other people do. I care about my neighbor's dogs like crazy. And every time I see him outside, I have to go and say hi. Because I care about him. Because I care about my dog, you know. I care about things. Because my dog cares about me. But this idea that I'm supposed to care about any person who would never care about me, no, stop it, man. Stop it. That's imaginary, make-believe, bogus, man. You know, it's just caring is supposed to be a two-way street, like trust, like love, like friendship. Two-way streets. This one way. That's the problem that's going on, man. I know I've been going on with it for a while, but these people want this one-way street thing, man. You know, they want this one-way street. They don't want equal opportunity. They want equal outcome. They want this one-way street where you can only think one way, feel one way, and anything that goes against that one-way street. You know, they don't want people to care for each other. They only want you to care for them. They don't want That's the thing. They don't want to care for you. They only want you to care for them. So it's okay that they don't care for nobody, but everybody has to care for them. That don't work that way. That's all I'm seeing, man. Stop it. We're not about the rules. We're not about the consequences. And stop it with this everybody's supposed to love everybody and care about everybody bullshit. Because everybody on this planet isn't a caring, loving person. Because soon as I don't care about something you care about, I'm made out to be the villain or the bad guy. That's what happens. As soon as I don't care about what you care about, I'm made out to be the villain or the bad guy. And people are only going to care about what they care about, man. That's how you can't make people care about things that they don't want to care about. You can't force everybody to love each other. You can't force people to stop hating people. You can't force them to do it. And that's all I see. I see people trying to make people love people by force and make people stop hating people by force. It doesn't work that way once you get overpopulated in the world. People are going to love what they love and hate what they hate. You can't control that. Some people love Mexican food. Some people love Italian. Some people love Asian. Some people love Korean. Some people love Indian food. Some people might hate Asian food. I'm not a big Asian food guy. My number one thing is Italian. I'm not even Italian. No, I'm Italian to bone in my body. But I think Italians got the best cuisine on the planet. Lasagna, spaghetti, fettuccine, pizza, meatball subs, Italian subs. They got it. They got it, man. People gonna love what they love and hate what they gonna hate, man. You know, that's just how it is, man. But y'all need to hit that click now, subscribe button. Um, yeah. So let's stop thinking we're above rules because we're not above the consequences, and we gotta stop acting like just because somebody doesn't care what you care about, that they're a villain or a bad guy. People are gonna care what they care about. Love, like I'm not caught up on who cares about me. I don't need a handful of people to care about me. I don't need the whole world to care about me. Because then that's a lot of people I gotta care about that are gonna expect me to care back. Like, and people, some expectations get too high. I don't need everybody to care about me. You know what I'm saying? I can care about myself. That's the thing. Long as I care about myself, that's the number one. Like, I've never been a person that's been dependent on a lot of people anyway. So, you know, burning bridges. What does burning bridges really do for a 100% independent person? Not too much. Burning bridges is really only affects people who are dependent on other people. And people who are always dependent on other people, excuse me, pretty weak minded in my opinion, in my point of view. If you got to depend on a lot of people, you're pretty weak minded. More people you got to depend on, the weaker you are. And that's another thing. This idea that we're all created equal, but some people got to depend on more people than others. That's not equal. No, that's weaker. You're weaker. This idea that weaker is equal to stronger? No. Slower is equal to faster? No. Lower is equal to higher? No. So somebody could jump lower, but they're equal to a person who jumps higher. Not in jumping high, they're not. Somebody can run slower than a person who runs faster than them, but they're equal. Not in running, they're not equal. So they're not equal. This idea that everybody could do everything the same and that we all could compete at the same things equally. No, man. And that's fine. Some people are better at things than others. But the kind of quality that people want in this world is equal outcome. They don't want equal opportunity because even with equal opportunity, there's not really no equal opportunity in the world when some people are always going to be more experienced and better at the jobs. And some people might be more professional at doing their jobs. Then you can have a person that can do the job and he could be a complete dick to all the customers, to every single one. Well, he doesn't equally deserve that job. He's going to get fired a lot faster. You know, a person like a person who can't do a job as well, but is super nice and follows all the rules, might keep his job a lot quicker than a person who comes in and all arrogant, cocky, knows how to do his job, but he's just rude to all the customers. He'll be gone quick. Like, I don't care how good you do your job. You know, and that's the thing. We got to stop thinking that just because you could do the job good means you should get it. Well, your attitude at the workplace has a lot to do with it too. You got to stop acting like attitudes in the workplace doesn't matter. People don't want people working registers at fast food joints that got nasty attitudes. You know where those people go? They go in the back in the grill. So they can sit back there and bitch and complain, all day long. When employees bitching and complaining anyways is crazy to me anyways. It's like, it's easy for employees to bitch and complain. But if you don't make enough money, you know what the solution is? You start your own business. You go into business for yourself. People always think the solution of employee not making more money is they get a raise. Not every employee deserve raises. Some got nasty attitudes. They come to work every day and they don't want to be there. Some people don't work as hard as others. They don't work as efficient as others. Some people might waste a lot of stuff. A person who's very wasteful doesn't deserve raises because you're losing money. You're losing money. The most wasteful person at a fast food doesn't deserve a raise. He's the one that's causing them the business to lose the most amount of money. He's the last person to deserve the raise. I don't care how hard he works. If he's the most wasteful, he's the one causing the business to lose the most money. He's the last person to deserve a raise. There's a lot of key factors that go into raises, and it's not just if you show up in time or you work hard. Are you losing the business money, or are you making the business money? If you're losing the money, I don't care how hard you work. You don't deserve raises. You're losing the business money. Won't get nobody a raise that's causing me to lose money. Never, ever would I give anybody a raise that's causing me to lose money. What business world does it work that way? None. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, man, we gotta stop it, man. Y'all just want to paint these narratives just to paint them without a but of rules, because without a but of consequences. If you want to follow the laws of nature, follow the laws of nature. That's fine. But society doesn't. And that's not gonna work. The laws of nature don't dictate society's laws. That only works when you out there you out there with the animals, the lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, So hit that subscribe button, click down right in that right hand corner. Don't forget the audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Deezer, Amazon, TuneIn, Slacker, iHeartRadio. The videos go to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Hit the follow on Facebook and Instagram. Hit the subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, man, we gotta stop it though, man. We gotta stop it. Like, we gotta stop thinking we're above the rules. Stop thinking we're above the consequences. I mean, you could think you are, but society doesn't dictate that. I said it myself. I don't agree with the laws of man, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to follow the majority of them. And I definitely don't, you're not going to see me out in public breaking the laws of man. That's for sure. Not blatantly. I'm not going to be out in public blatantly breaking the laws of man. If I'm going to break the laws of man, I'm going to do it in the comfort of my own house. And even then, I'm only breaking one law of man in the comfort of my own house. And even though it is a stupid law, it's a stupid rule, it's still a law, it's still a rule. And until that changes, I'm not above the consequence. Because if I think I could just walk out and just start handing out free weed at the grocery store, and then somebody ain't gonna call the cops, well then, good luck with that one. I gotta be dumber than a bag of bricks if I think I could just go to the grocery store and pass out weed to everybody in line, just in front of all the workers and everything. Here you go. Because that's what people are thinking when you're above the rules. You think you're above the consequences, and that's exactly what you're thinking. You could just go to the grocery store, pass out free weed, pass out, free cocaine to people, and just think somebody ain't gonna call the cops. You're dumping in a bag of bricks, man. I mean, if you're that dumb, you don't got that much. If you got that lack of common sense, you shouldn't be coming out the house. If you're that dumb, I think you could just go to the store, pass out some free weed in front of everybody in a state that's illegal, and somebody's not gonna call the cops. You're dumping in a bag of bricks, man. You're not about the consequences. I'm not about the consequences. Nobody's about the consequences. I'm sorry, you're not. And trust me, my so-called white privilege isn't going to get me out of walking to the grocery store and passing out free weed to all the people in the line. They're going to call the cops on my dumb ass quick like in a hurry. Quick like in a hurry. And if I stick around and wait for the cops to get there, I'm even dumber. I'm dumb and dumber. I'm dumb and dumber. So that's what you all think. We all thinking we're above the rules because we think we're above the consequences. We're dumb and we're dumber. Because we're not above the rules nowhere. You go into somebody's house, you're not above their rules. You go into somebody's business, you're not above their rules because they got consequences. They can kick you out. Anytime they want to, they can kick you out. And then if you don't want to go willingly, consequences are going to get a hell of a lot worse for you then. If you think you're not going willingly, consequences get worse for you then. Because I done told you what happens. You come in my crib and you don't go willingly after I tell you to get the fuck out, and you don't get the fuck out, then you're going to get drug out. And if that doesn't work, then you're going to get turned to fucking Swiss cheese. I'm getting the 12 gauge and you're going to get the fuck out one way or another. Because they're going to carry you out dead or alive. Then. Because then you totally thinking you above the rules of my apartment and you above the fucking consequences. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I tell my mom to get the fuck out and she don't get the fuck out, guess what? She's getting drug out. A woman comes to my house and doesn't get the fuck out after I tell her to get the fuck out. She's got literally 5 fucking seconds to get the fuck out. Because the door is literally 5 seconds right there. If not, I'm putting fucking hands on your ass and you going out. So stop it thinking we above the rules and the consequences, because everybody got rules and everybody got consequences to the rules. You go to anybody's house, they got rules. You get in anybody's car, they got rules. You go to anybody's business, they got rules. And thinking just because you're outside of a business, outside of a car, outside of somebody's house that there's not rules, those aren't called rules. Those are called laws. And guess what? The consequences for those can be more severe than the rules. Because some people could just say, hey, get the hell out of my house, and you get the hell out. And that's that. But when you break laws, it could be just like get the hell out the store and you get locked up. Like you go steal the store, it's get out and you get locked up. Because they could call the cops. And the cops is going to take your ass out, and they're going to lock you up. So let's stop it thinking we're above the rules, because you're not above the consequences. And if you're thinking about the consequences, go right ahead. Try it. And whatever happens, happens. Good, bad, or ugly. But nobody is above the consequences of rules, because all rules have consequences when you don't follow them. It all depends on who's dictating them. Some places, people ain't going to tell you to get the hell out of their house. Some places, people are going to just throw your ass out the house. They're not going to give you an option. Some places you break the rules, they're not going to give you an option to to get out, they're just going to throw your ass out. That'd be like if you just come in my house and just said, all white people are racist. Okay. Okay, the guy that has no white friends, all black friends that came to see him at the hospital, in love with a black woman, and yeah, okay. I wouldn't give you the option. I would grab you by your fucking collar and throw you out my fucking front door, you know, because you just blatantly told me that I'm a fucking racist to my face in my own house. I wouldn't give you a fucking option to leave. I would throw your ass out the fucking door, plain and fucking simple. You know, so we got to stop it thinking we're above the rules, because you're not above the consequences. When everywhere you go in life has rules. I get in somebody's cab, they got rules. I get in somebody's car, they got rules. Or Uber, or Lyft. If I go to a restaurant, they got rules. If I go to somebody's house, they got rules. If they name is on that shit, they renting, they leasing, they own, they dictate the rules. You know, that's how it goes, man. Stop it. I don't know why I had to rant up this long about people thinking they're above the rules and consequences, man, because we got to stop it with this, man. We got to stop it with this. Like, you know, everybody just wants to, they want no rules, no laws, no cops. But the consequences of that are going to be far worse. So y'all just don't want to face consequences. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't want to face consequences. Y'all don't want to take accountability. Nobody wants, that's what it is. Nobody wants to take accountability no more. You know, when my business wasn't doing good, you know, and I had issues with customers, I had to take some of the accountability. It wasn't always the customers. Sometimes it was me. Sometimes it was me. Sometimes I let the customers get under my skin. Sometimes I would let the customers get under my skin. Ask me now, do I let customers get under my skin? As soon as a customer just intentionally try to get under my skin, refund, and I tell them to kick rocks and don't even come back. There's no amount of stress in the world worth the money. It's one thing for me to stress myself out, but there's no money in the world that you could pay me to let somebody else stress me out. That's not allowed. You're not allowed to stress me out. Stress is a choice. Stressing things is a choice. You don't get to choose stress for me. You don't get to choose it for me. I choose it for myself. So I choose not to stress over clients. And the easiest way to do that is give them their money back and tell them to kick rocks. And my business does so much better now. No chargebacks. You know, because I don't even let customers get to the point where they think they're gonna dictate my business for me. And I don't even get to the point where a customer throws out that the customer's always right. Because that's not true. I'm going to say it 1,000,000 trillion times. The customer is not always right. Whoever came up with that saying was a bold-faced liar. He was a guy who probably wrote a book on lies. He wrote a book on nothing but lies. Just how to come up with the most bold-faced lies. The book of lies. That's what it was called. Had been. Whoever came up with the saying, the customer is always right, told a bold-faced lie. No one is always right. When I started doing the podcast, I got it confused. That one was a sprinter, Carrie was a sprinter, and the other chick was a shot putter. I got it wrong at first. But then I got it right. I made sure I fixed that, corrected myself. You know, one was a sprinter who got busted with weed. One was a chick who was like, I think, a shot putter who turned her back on the flag, competing for a country. I don't care what country it is. That wouldn't fly. No country will let that fly. We gotta stop that too. Thinking that any country in the Olympics is gonna let that fly. That they're Olympic, somebody representing the Olympics turns their back on their flag. No country on the planet is gonna let that fly. So we got to stop that. Any kind of narrative that's the opposite of that, like it's racist. What's going on with her? Because it's America. It's happening in America. No, any country would be upset about that. Any country will be going in on her about that. Every single country. And she didn't kneel. She turned her back. Every country on the planet in the Olympics would go in on her about that. So stop it. Stop it with being racism. Because I don't care what country she was in. If she was in Nigeria, they would have went in on her about that. If she was in Mexico, Russia, Ukraine, any country would have went in on that. And I definitely know the Asian countries would have fucking demolished her ass. They would demolish her ass. She would have never competing for Asian Olympics ever again. She wouldn't be able to go to no Asian country, period, and probably be able to compete. If she did that shit, any communist country that she did that shit in, she wouldn't be competing for no Olympics ever again. That'd be her last straw right there. First and last straw. So we got to stop it, with this, like, what she did was just, only America would be upset about this. Only the racist people in America are upset about this. No, every country on the planet would have had people going in on her. And they would have, and I guarantee that she wouldn't, every other country wouldn't even gave her an opportunity to compete afterwards after that. It would have been pulled instantly. I guarantee that. Y'all just put out so many false narratives. Y'all, false opinions, went out above the rules because went out above the consequences. And neither one of those was racist because Sha'Carri, there's no white chicks competing in the 100 meter or the 400 meter relay team. And the other chick wasn't even replaced or nothing. She just didn't, she got third place. She didn't even make the cuts. You know what I'm saying? But the idea that you would go compete for a country in the Olympics and then turn your back on the flag, that's so hypocritical. Like, you should, the less hypocritical thing to do, like I said, is go to another country, go to the freaking enemy of that country. You go to Russia and compete against America, or go to China and compete against America. That would be the least hypocritical thing to do than just get up there and turn your back on the flag. But you want to reap all the benefits of competing for America. Hypocrisy, man. Hypocrisy. And if anything I don't like more than anything in this world is a hypocrite. A liar is not as bad as a hypocrite. Somebody who steals is not bad as a hypocrite. Because a hypocrite is a person who will bitch and complain about something that they do themselves. They'll bitch and complain about something they do themselves. It's like Rachel. There's a lot of hypocrites going on in sports I'm seeing. Rachel Nichols is a hypocrite. Maria Taylor's a hypocrite. Jalen Rose is a hypocrite. And you know what? The Sha'Carri chick, all due respect, she accepted her punishment. She accepted her punishment. So I'm not really going in on her per se. I'm going in on the people who want to say it was racism and it's racist. Y'all do know ain't no white people compete for the 100 meters. None. Not a zilch. No white chicks making the 100 meters. Or the 100 meter relay team. Not in America. Maybe it's some other country like Ukraine where they might got all white girls competing. You do know ain't no white chicks competing for the 100 meters. Or the 400, 4x100. So this idea that it was racist or racism when she wasn't replaced by no white chicks. The chick she's replaced that she would replace if she still competed wouldn't be white. And the chicks that she replaced her, they didn't smoke weed. And if she did replace somebody, she replaced somebody who followed the rules and didn't smoke weed. So it's like this idea that people that break the rules should be replacing people who didn't break the rules. So we put people that break rules above people who follow the rules. No. No, I'm sorry. It don't work that way. Stop it. Stop it. And this is why the Tim Tebow thing, I had to go in on, to defend Tim Tebow. At first, I was like, nah, 8 years. But then y'all want to say racism. But, Adrian Peterson could beat his kid. Antonio Brown could put his hands on a woman. Players, Cowboys could get busted, with cocaine and breaking all these laws and these rules, and they get second, third chance. But the guy who's squeaky clean can't. Oh, hell no. The squeaky clean guy gets more opportunities and chances than anybody. He gets more chances than anybody because he's squeaky clean. The more time you break the rules, it's supposed to be the less chances you get. So now we're switching that. The more time you break the rules, the more chances you get. Stop it, man. Stop it. That sounds like we're living in we're trying to go to a dishonest society here. That we just want to live dishonest in society. That the people that break the rules get way more opportunity than the people who don't break the rules? No! How is that equality? How is that equality? Once again, equal outcome. People don't want equal opportunity. They want equal outcome. They want old girl to break all the rules and win the gold medal. Oh, they want old girl to burn the flag. They want old girl to burn the flag and win the gold medal. What country gonna let you burn their flag in the Olympics? More or less turn your back on them. We gotta stop it, man. But I probably went an hour in on this. Yeah, I don't know why these topics it's not that they get to me. It's just when I sit back and analyze them and I look, it's like I don't know. I have to call out hypocrisies. I have to. I always have to. I won't. To my very last breath, I will call out hypocrisies. I don't like hypocrisies. I don't like hypocrites. I don't like hypocrisies. I don't like people that complain about things that they would do themselves. Like Maria Taylor complaining about equality, but they're trying to blackmail. That's a hypocrite. That's not equality. Rachel Nichols going all woke, to acting like she's woke when she's not really woke. She's only woke as long as it doesn't hurt her. She's woke until it hurts her. That's not really how wokeness goes. So, yeah. But hit that click now, subscribe button. Don't forget to follow the audio version. Video version is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. My name is Paul Pickett. This is the Paul Pickett Podcast. Don't forget to check out my website, promopalace.biz. If you want online marketing promotions, check out newlitter.com. That's NEWLITTER.com for the New Litter apparel. I don't got none of the shirts on today, but for all you dog lovers and animal lovers, check out New Litter apparel. Also, I got to shout out Dizzle Brand. The DizzleBrand.com is DIZZLE brand.com for shizzle. My number one brand is the Dizzle when it comes to liquor. At least right now, you know what I'm saying? Trying to support my man Chris Roker and Mike Dizzle and him. And so yeah, Paul Masson is supporting the Dizzle brand. Yeah, Paul Pickett, aka Paul Masson, is supporting the Dizzle brand. So check it out, DizzleBrand.com. Follow the social medias, the Instagram, the Facebook. Might not want to follow Twitter. They're canceling people like crazy. But that's here and there. But that's why we don't advertise with Twitter whatsoever. Twitter don't get none of our advertising dollars. Just Facebook and YouTube, really, and Google. But yeah, for shizzle, follow the Dizzle, DizzleBrand.com, newlitter.com, promopalace.biz. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in, and